Hello my friends and welcome back. I am Carl and today I want to talk to you about the importance of having a framework for developing the best practice. First and foremost, when you think about practice, you probably have a concept of what that is, and so do I. But what I like to do is I like to take that concept that I have in my head and compare it to the formal definition. And the way that I do it is I just grab my phone and I type in definition of practice. And if I type it in here, the first definition that pops up is that practice is the actual application or use of an idea, a belief, or a method as opposed to theories. So what I want to do today is I want to share a theory with you, and I would like to encourage you to try to translate it into your physical practice, mental practice, or emotional practice if you have that. And the way that I'm going to do this is by sharing something that I wrote about in my book Freestyle, which is the framework that I call start, transition, and finish. And in this framework, I talk about the importance of building the beginning, building the end, and then working on the middle. So let's take this video, for example. I opened up by saying, hello, how are you? I welcomed you. That's the beginning. The end of this video, the punchline, is that I want you to practice with purpose. And when you practice with purpose, you'll be able to do that in a way that feels effortless. I call this effortless effort. This is a state where you can work really hard, you can work a lot, but you never feel depleted. You never feel disempowered. You always feel like you have a drive to continue to move forward. So how does one find that drive? Well, one finds that drive from three different places. Number one, autonomy. Autonomy being the place of freedom, the place where you get to choose. And this is where I want to ask you right now, where in your life do you have a choice and you are giving up that choice to somebody else? Wherever that may be is probably where your practice has to start. It's realizing, noticing, becoming aware of where that lack of choice exists and learning how to be able to take ownership of it. So that would be number one, that's autonomy. The second aspect of having an effortless practice that is self-directed and motivated comes from a place of mastery. Mastery is the never-ending return to the practice itself. And when we think about practice, practice is not only just bringing a theory or an idea out into the world mechanically, it's also the exercise of remembering. And what are we remembering? Well, we're remembering why we started. And when we remember why we started, we all of a sudden are able to see how to finish. And this is very powerful because the moment you feel dissatisfied, you can anchor yourself in that. So practicing mastery is the return to the reason, the original intention for doing the practice or pursuing the practice itself. And then finally, we have purpose. Purpose goes beyond meaning. Meaning is the concept. Purpose is the application. Purpose is actually the practice. So how do we find purpose? Well, thankfully there are many ways of doing this, and one of them being the Japanese art of purpose, which is called Ikigai and translates into the reason for being, which you can exercise at any time. And all it takes is the following. Ask yourself in a specific context, let's say for me, if I'm thinking about my handstands, ask yourself, what is it that I love? Ask yourself, what is it that I'm good at within this context? For me, in my handstand practice, what is it that I feel strong in when I am practicing? What is it that I'm doing that is giving me value or is transacting value? And then finally, ask yourself, what is it that you or the people that you're serving through your practice need more of? When you have this at the forefront, that which you love, that which you're good at, that which you do in exchange for value through the practice, and that which you are contributing to yourself or to others, you will always find the root and the foundation of your intention. And within those three, within the autonomy, taking full ownership of your choice, within the mastery, the constant polishing, and then the remembering of your purpose, which is the combination of those things that I just shared through the lens of Ikigai, the Japanese art of purpose, you will start to mentally and emotionally and physically align. And that alignment will continue to drive and move you forward and send you into a never-ending process of growth. So to summarize, in order to build a proper practice that elicits effortless effort, create the beginning, create the end, and work on the middle. Take ownership of your choices. Continue to pursue mastery by polishing your practice. Don't get discouraged. Feel empowered. Lean into that which you know. And then finally, remember why you started, and you'll know how to finish. That is found behind your purpose. Do not forget, and you will be just fine. If that which I shared with you now resonates, do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment. Let's get a discussion going, and let's keep this rolling forward, as I believe this is the conversation that is in need of nurturing, and we can do it if we do it together. So that being said, thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next week. Peace.